posting on Truth Social in part. In the meantime, Governor Pritzker and the low IQ mayor of Chicago are refusing federal government help for a situation that could be quickly remedied. The people are chanting, "Bring in Trump." NewsNation correspondent Alex Capriello is live in Chicago. Alex, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Nick. Once again, we're talking about those teen takeovers. It's something that NewsNation has covered extensively from coast to coast. And obviously, very often we're also talking about the chaos that unfolds when a teen takeover happens. This weekend here in Chicago, word quickly spread on social media. Hundreds of teenagers showed up to the downtown loop, and that's really when we saw things get ugly. So here, within about 30 minutes of each other, we saw two separate shooting incidents happen. A 13-year-old girl was shot, a 14-year-old boy was killed, and 18 others were arrested, with at least 5 guns being confiscated. The 14-year-old killed, he goes by the name of Armani Floyd. He was a young man who loved playing basketball. He leaves behind his mother and a sister. Mayor Johnson now urging parents to keep their kids home and away from these teen takeovers.
Our young people have to understand that they should not attend these unauthorized events that have been advertised on social media. These types of violent gatherings can never be an alternative, nor can they be normalized.
And we're taking a hard look at the crime statistics here in Chicago. We've been doing it ever since President Trump really started to zero in on this city. And it was a particularly violent weekend here in the Windy City. From Friday to Sunday, there were more than 17 shootings, resulting in 28 victims. And when you talk to people like Mayor Brandon Johnson or the police commissioner or even Governor Pritzker, they like to point to crime statistics here in Chicago, which do show improvement. Statistically speaking, in this city that encompasses about 3 million people, crime stats are down: murders, robberies, aggravated batteries. But when you actually focus in a little bit tighter, looking at specifically District 1, that's where the teen takeover happened. That is the Chicago Loop and much of the downtown area. Some of those statistics are not so positive. In fact, crime statistics in that specific area, they're going up in some categories. It's part of the reason why we see a lot of these city leaders continue to consider over and over again whether or not they should be implementing a curfew in the downtown area, specifically for teenagers. Nick?
Alex, quickly, what do we know about that victim?
Yeah, tough news. Obviously, a 14-year-old boy. We showed some of the images of him. There's now multiple rewards that are being offered for people that might be able to turn in information that might lead to an arrest of the killing of 14-year-old Armani Floyd. We're told that funeral arrangements are being laid out right now for him and his family. WGN, our NewsNation affiliate here in Chicago, spoke to one of his mentors who said he was a bright kid, he was intelligent, he was funny, and he had his whole life ahead of him. Take a listen.
Regardless of what we may see online, I know for sure in my heart and my experience with Armani, he was a great kid. One of our coaches just wrote me today and talked about, even outside of the basketball gym, Armani helped him move into his house, right? So just a caring kid, a 14-year-old kid, never gave any of the coaches problems.
And Nick, obviously a tragedy, but Floyd wasn't the only victim here. As I mentioned, several other teenagers hit by gunfire this weekend. Nick?
Alex Capriello in Chicago. Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.